Yo, what's going on, guys? I am currently live. Thank you for watching. Also, sorry if I was looking around at the beginning. YouTube never tells me if I'm going live. Also, I always get an error for whatever reason when I go to click on the video, whatever. That it has nothing to do with you guys. I'm just saying in general that's what happens. So, but thank you guys for coming to hang out. Thank you for watching. If you are watching in the current time, thank you. If not, hopefully you enjoyed the review regardless. Wanted to give a little bit of a preface before this. I love The Wise Man Fears. I have been a fan for quite a long time. They've also been good friends of mine for many years. I've pretty much done a review of every one of their albums, I believe, since they've been releasing music. So I felt very much fitting to do yet another review of their album, Atlas Ruinica. If you want to go check it out, links are in the description to go pick it up, go buy it. It's very cool. It's going to be on vinyl, which I'm very stoked about getting my copy of, but you can also buy it on CD. They have some really cool merch. My favorite piece is that long sleeve that says Fantasy Core on it, and it looks like a certain Final Fantasy game that I don't want to get well, I wouldn't get DMCA for it, but I want my boys to get in trouble for it. But I know I'm a little bit late to the boat. I know that this album came out on Friday, and I was just doing some other stuff at the current time, so I couldn't do it. But this was about as early as I could get it done. So big salute to the guys, and very excited to listen to this. I have listened to Tailspin, I believe, was the only one, and Sun Chaser. I think at the time when I had them on to interview, I think The Rival was just coming out or had just come out, and I did not listen to that one. But I'm very excited. They always continue to surprise me, and from what I've seen from the reviews, I haven't really delved into it, but just a little blurbs. People have been really hyped about this record, and rightfully so, because these are guys that have been doing the work for such a long time, and glad I can be a part of the journey with the boys. But yeah, love The Wise Man Fears. The Wise Man's Fear. I don't know why I keep jumbling those up, but if you know on the channel. So we're going to go through the entire album. If you have not listened to it, this is going to be the perfect time to not only listen to it, but also enjoy it with me. You're going to get all the reactions, all the fun stuff. And then on top of that, I'm going to be, taking a pause, going through the songs itself, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and kind of comparing it to their previous works, and seeing how it kind of stacks up. But from what I can tell, I think this might be some of their best work to date. I hope I don't bite myself in the butt by saying that, but I do feel they are, I do feel like from the singles I've listened to, this is going to be a really banging album. So guys, we're going to start it off with this first song off the album, which is Tailspin. So we're going to get into it. And again, go check out The Wise Man's Fear. Love the boys. So let's give it a listen. Oh my god. I forgot how hard this song hits. God, so good. Oh, this is so good. Those screams, my God. He always impresses me. Always. Dude is a maniac. Joe is a maniac. Oh, I love it. I forgot. Oh my God. What filth? Oh. Paul with some blast beats? A little light blast beat? Oh, alright. What a great opener. Oh, so gritty. Oh my God. Oh, I forgot how good this song was. Guys, this is the first track off of Atlas Ruinica from the boys, The Wise Man's Fear. Go check it out. Links below to go pick it up. But we started off with a spicy boy. This one is Tailspin. God, I forgot. I remember listening to this when it first came out. And then dropped off like that breakdown. That was a terrible joke. But I absolutely love that this is the first song. And I don't remember if this was the first single. I want to say it was just off of memory. I think mainly what was originally supposed to happen was, and this is what Paul had told me, so I believe I can relay this message. And I think he also mentioned it in the interview, so go back and check that out if you're interested. But at the original time, they were planning on just releasing a bunch of singles, and then they were just going to maybe kind of compile them similarly to Spirit Box, where they just had an entire album full of singles. But that obviously didn't happen, and I think halfway through the process, I believe that what happened was they originally scrapped the idea of just doing each single and then just went full on with the album, and then just obviously saved the rest of the songs to release with the album, which is really cool. I'm glad they went that route, not only because I'm a huge album fan, but I feel like it was a good choice because I loved all the singles when they originally came out, but I feel like I kind of took a little bit of a pause. So it's good to come back in and be like absolutely decimated by these songs. My boy Jared's in the chat. Salutes, my guy. He said, fun fact, Paul sent me this pre-pro of one of the songs when he was asking about mixing advice for Harbor Tragedy. That is insane. This song has been on the chopping block for a little bit. So very cool. He said it was in September 21. And that's so crazy. And also he wants to mention that the airplane dive bomb breakdown, and he said move over after the burial. Well, that's funnily enough, I was listening to that album really recently at work, so that's hilarious. But yeah, definitely move over after the burial. We got a new contender in town here. But yeah, I absolutely love this song. I think Tyler continues to impress me vocally. I'm very curious to see what he's going to sound like going further in this album, because I feel like this song was mainly like a Joe show, which is totally fine because Joe is an absolute maniac of a screamer, heavily underrated. I would say heavily slept on. This man is going full goblin mode on some of these tracks. So, and I saw a video that a certain song later on the album might break my face. So I'm very excited. Uh, but yeah, I very excited about how heavy they gotten. I'm curious to know what tuning they're in, because this sounds like peak heavy, and I'm about that. But getting back more into like kind of the musicality of it, I think I love the fact that they kind of remind me of a Chokron, like Born Over Cyrus mixed with like a Lorna Shore. I think they're able to kind of mix those like really intricate like synth lines and like electronic parts in a way that doesn't feel like it's overbearing, but it kind of fits with the motif of what they're going for. I know that they have been doing that for multiple albums, but I felt like this one thus far, and listening to Tailspin when it originally came out and re-listening to it now, that kind of further surmises my point that I do think that they have done a great job of making the heavy parts heavier, but also making the more like electronic and melodic parts that much more catchy and more like in your face and with more momentum. So absolutely love that. Again, I'll go back to Tyler. I love his vocals as well. I think he hits the choruses super well, and I think it's nice to get that kind of break up in between the song, because I think Joe can just like absolutely decimate a track, but it's nice to know that Tyler can come in at his parts and then kind of transition super well. But yeah, I love the fact that they went super heavy on this one. There's some really cool like blast beat moments, and I think the drumming overall is really, really solid from my boy Paul. I'm very curious because I don't think I heard any of Nathan singing, so I'm curious if they're going to be adding some more of Nathan's parts. I know that track 5 features Whalebones, and for those who are unfamiliar, that is Paul's and Nathan's project. So definitely go check out Whalebones if you haven't already. Been on the channel multiple times as well. But yeah, I feel like there's going to be more opportunity for Nathan to utilize his vocals, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, overall, fantastic track. This one, nothing but great things to say about it. I like how they started off really heavy, getting all the energy out front. You're going to be in for a ride. You got to buckle them seatbelts. And yeah, definitely dug this one a ton. So we're going to move it on to track 2, which is Where the Sky is Empty. So let's give this bad boy a spin. Also, shout outs to my protein shake. Closed off the windows, slamming doors. I can't take this anymore. Time will show darker truths not known. And the reason why I guard them with my life. You cannot know what I search for the words to express. The mere semblance of this emptiness. Back home. Gather round and don't share in your final see you off in the dark. There's no trust of the others. Ooh, nice. This is a cool transition. As I search the room, I feel you here, and I try to forget that this time I'm all alone. This doesn't feel like home. There you go, Tyler. Really digging in. I love it. Without you right now, this doesn't feel like home. But time is quickly slipping, and I can hear you whispering the line. I saw more closely, dangerous gas outside. Breath on, so falter, wash and worse, destruction. all right. I like this.
I know if you could, you'd smile and tell me no tears. I know if you could, you'd take me far away from here.
This is sick. I like this. All right.
As I search the road, I feel you here, and I try to forget that this time I'm all alone. This doesn't feel like home. Being here without you, I'm so lost without you right now. This doesn't feel like home. But time is quickly slipping, and I can hear you whispering the line.
All right, we're getting hit with a breakdown. I feel it.
Closed off
Oh.
windows,
All right.
slamming doors. I can't
Feels very
say
Castle on the Cloud sort of vibes.
anymore.
All right, Joe, you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to. Oh, I love this. Man, Joe did not have to do it. Joe did not have to do that. I love it. That was sick. This one was really good actually too. Big salutes. Guys, this was track 2, Where the Sky is Empty. I really enjoy this one a lot. I think comparatively to Tailspin, that one is just like a burst of energy. Like, my man comes straight out with a strong like right hook. This one, it takes a little bit of getting into. I would say more so. It's kind of more. It's kind of like an amalgamation of like some really nice post-hardcore, I would say definitely some metalcore, and then of course like some like lo-fi kind of like electronic beats going on here. So let's dissect it a little bit more. I think this song, I would say a large majority of it has Tyler's clean singing on it, which was, I wouldn't say complete's the wrong word, but I like the fact that this one has a lot more of Tyler singing on it. I've always appreciated the fact that they've been able to kind of like, have Joe just go nuts on the track, but then also at the same point, I love when Tyler just kind of has his moments to just go free and do his thing too as well, because I think he really has an extremely strong like vocal presence, and I absolutely love his like high range. I think it's probably one of the key features and kind of key functions that I think about when I think of the Wise Man Sphere, which is great. I love that he absolutely lays in on the chorus. I think that's definitely one of the strongest parts of the song. And I would also say as well, another strong part of this song for me specifically was a lot of the electronic elements. I loved the way that they kind of incorporated some like softer moments, and in those softer moments you can hear like some really cool like electronic like synthy kind of lo-fi type of beats going on there. And I know Paul's other project, the Island Effect, I know Paul's in like 3 different projects. I'm gonna try to remember all of them, but yeah, he does more of those kind of electronic, more of that sort of like lo-fi like EDM kind of shit, and I absolutely love that. I think it's great too. It's a nice like chill kind of nice like mellow thing, and I like how it has made its way into a song like this. That's always really cool, and I think it meshes super well with Tyler's vocals, and I know Tyler's also doing his solo stuff as well, and so it's cool to hear everyone's different projects and the way that they kind of like, again, have elements of their own stuff and kind of keeping to that, but also being able to kind of take bits and pieces of that and putting it into, the Wise Man Fears songs. And I'm very excited to listen to not only the one with Whalebones, but also the one with Spawn, because both Joe and Thomas are in Spawn, which I think is really cool because that is more of a heavier project. And if my memory serves me correct, I'm pretty sure that Joe does the guitar work on that project, and then Thomas does screaming on that track, or not track, in that project as well. And so I do feel like they have found a way to kind of like commingle all of the different projects that every member is a part of, and being able to kind of morph it into the songs that, everybody collectively is a part of. So very excited to hear that. I feel like this one is, again, more of that Tyler approach and how he's kind of going about his solo stuff, and then just Joe is doing his Joe thing with some really great screaming. I absolutely love that like breakdown part. I thought that was fantastic. Closer to the end of the song, I would say around the like 3-ish minute mark, if my memory serves me correct. And so I think he absolutely killed that. And I like, again, comparatively to Tailspin, it's a nice juxtaposition. Tailspin being more of the Joe track, and this one being more the Tyler track. It's nice to know that they counter each other in that way. But also at the same point, you get a nice variation of the, again, more clean singing, and you get more of that kind of like more ethereal kind of like electronic vibe. And then with the heavier stuff, we're moving more into like the deathcore and that sort of genre of music. So I really feel like they kind of put their mark on each different genre, but also kind of combining them in a sense that makes sense for the Wise Man Fears. So very excited. This one was a really great one. I can already tell this is going to be pretty difficult to pick some of my favorites off this album, but we're not even like halfway through the album, so we're going to get through the rest of them. The next track is called Slumbering World. The songs that like I said at the beginning of the video, that I had listened to were Tailspin and Sun Chaser, I believe. So excited to listen to Slumbering World. I have not listened to this one yet, so it's going to be brand new. And if you are new here and you haven't checked out the Wise Man's Fear, this is the perfect time to get into it. So let's check out Slumbering World. Slumbering World, track 3. Let's get into it. Ooh, a nice little delayed guitar action. Ooh, the riffs, man. Cody and Nathan at work.
Don't you close your eyes. They're watching you. Guard against the night. It beckons you. Encircle the sun. They're waiting for your blood. Don't you think in the shadow, missing pieces forming tapestry.
nice, like strings, like piano section. I like this. Just stepping their game up, and I love it. This gives me that very make them suffer kind of vibes. I know Paul will be proud of me saying that.
Through the years they were always listening through closed off windows and doors. Through the years they were always listening through closed off windows and doors.
Oh, that breakdown did not need to go that hard. Oh, this might be my. Ooh, I don't know. That's tough. I enjoyed this one a lot, guys. Track 3, "Slumbering World" off of The Boys, "The Wise Man's Fear," their new album, Atlas Ruinica. Check the links below to go listen to it. Go check it out. Go buy it. Go support the homies. But yeah, track 3. I really dug this one a lot. This one, I know this will probably be a common trend for this album. But I really do feel like, as much as I loved Valley of Kings, and by far that is, such a fantastic Wise Man Fears album, I think that they have single-handedly just improved their game so much since the last release. And let me take a look, because I'm also curious on when it came out. But I really do feel like they have gotten so... I feel like they have spent so much time really, like, working on these tracks. Because Valley of Kings came out in 2020, so if that came out this year, so, roughly they probably had the album done, or at least the songs done, I would say, like, towards like the middle of 2022. So that's like 2 years, and they must have been working on it post Valley of Kings. But I feel like with each release that they've done, because I found out about them starting back in like 2015, so that's obviously dating me and my channel, which is I'm okay with. But so Castle in the Clouds came out in 2015, and The Lost City came out in 2017. And I just feel like with each album that they've done, they've taken elements of what they know and how they do it well, and just kind of amplify it. So with Castle in the Clouds, I really feel like they had a strong basis point. Then we got the Lost City, and I feel like Joe went mega ape shit, which is great because he's a fantastic screamer. But even the jump from like the Lost City to Valley of Kings, they've all improved so much. And from this jump from Valley of Kings to Atlas Ruinica, I feel like they've jumped even more, and in even shorter time frame. And I'm not even like, I'm probably about a quarter through the way through this album, and I just kind of, it's hard for me to not obviously show my bias a little bit, but as well as that, I think that they just, in talent wise and like song structure wise, they have gotten so much better at making the breakdowns just like way dumber, like in the best way possible. They make them super heavy. They make them more like, just, they have a lot more like zhuzh. They have a lot more punch to them. And I love that, because shout outs to Lee Albrecht. He's great. I don't even know if I butchered his last name, so Lee. I'm sorry, bud. But just with each like breakdown part, you can tell there's just like instead of putting like a period at the end of the sentence, they decide to hit you with like an exclamation point. And I think that that's great. And I think actually the way that the songs work out too, I think that that's also great too, because I think some of the melodies, as you could hear, probably I was kind of humming along to the melodies in the chorus, and I really enjoyed that. And I think that Tyler really wrote some fantastic hooks on this track that I know I'll remember. And as well as that, just kind of comparatively to like having a breakdown I was not expecting, but I think worked super well within the song, because I think the transition from the chorus or the bridge to the breakdown, I think, was very seamless. And while I was kind of assuming that there was going to be a breakdown, it's nice to know that that transition or that process getting into the breakdown was on point as well. So that's a long-winded way to say that really enjoyed this song off the record. And I think that it mixes the perfect aspects of what I know Tyler can do, because there were some really cool moments, especially in that bridge part where he was hitting kind of that mid to like low register, which I haven't heard him do in quite a little bit. So it was nice to hear that. And then, I'm not even going to delve into the whole thing about lyrics, because Paul kind of talked about it in the previous interview along with Thomas, about how crucial their lyricism is, and I don't feel like I could do it a justice. But there's plenty of people on here and on their Discord channel that probably can do it way better than I could. But it's cool to hear that the amount of effort that they take in working on these songs, they take equally, if not more so, time on the lyricism, because they have a dedicated fan base that loves the way that the story is written and come up with different ways to interpolate the lyricism and how it kind of compares to the previous albums. So wanted to point that out if you just happen to stumble across this band or stumble across this review and you hadn't heard of them. There's a lot of lore. There's a lot of like, if you're really into just kind of having a good storyline, I kind of compare them to like a metalcore version of Coheed and Cambria. Coheed and Cambria has arguably some of the best story writing within like the post-hardcore and alternative scene. And then like the Gloom in the Corner, I would say as well, them being a more like heavier metal band, metalcore band. I would say that they're also a good counterpoint band to reference as well too. I think that if you think about those types of bands and you like those, then this band is definitely one you should check out, because they equally have as great writing, and I wouldn't be able to personally do it a justice. So definitely check it out and go check their Discord. I'll leave a link down below to go give it a listen, or not listen. I am having a rough time because that song broke me. But yeah, no, I really do think that this one is a good middle ground. I think the Strength to Bury Your Friend is more on the softer side. If I saw like some of the Facebook previews or like the Instagram previews of the song, but I just like how each song has its own variation to it, but is still like heavy in different ways. Like they could have easily just hit you with a similar breakdown, but I like the fact that they are switching it up by like switching up some of the beat, some of the kind of like melodic nature of the breakdown, adding maybe a little bit more like synth and electronic elements. I think thus far been really, really highly pleased with this album, and I think that we're getting into the feature heavy portion of the album, so we're gonna really, really get into it a little bit more. So we're gonna move it on to track 4. This one is The Strength to Bury Your Friend. So let's give this bad boy a listen.
I don't know. No, I don't know why death must take its toll and leave us with these ghosts so cold. Can't let this go. Familiar catacombs that gather around their own. The strength to bury a friend. It won't be the last time. It won't be the last word. It won't be the last life that it grasps in the palm of his hand. I know I can't go home. And no, it's not there on my own. Why does death take its toll? And why did death
Ooh,
take its soul?
nice.
And when the end is drawing near, everyone is consumed by their darkest fears, desperately grabbing for anything that pulls them from the deep. So you pray for sleep, but you won't find comfort there. Dreaming of escape won't kill the nightmare. I'm so lost.
The layering on this track is so cool. Ooh, nice.
And since the end is drawing near, everyone is consumed by their darkest fears, desperately grabbing for anything that pulls them from the deep. So you pray for sleep, but you won't find comfort there. Dreaming of escape won't kill the nightmares.
All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, that was track number 4, The Strength to Bury Your Friend. I really enjoyed this one as well. I think it was, I know that there was like I said, a video of Tyler, I think he posted it, of how much this song means to him on the album. And, I love when a band kind of has, songs that really hit home or resonate with the artist. And I feel like with this song on the album, you can hear a lot of the emotion. I feel like the title of the song is, one that kind of gives away the meaning of it. But at the same point, I personally haven't had, been in the situation where I've had to bury a friend, but I feel like the situation can be kind of translated to like an uncle or a cousin or or a family member, your parents, your brother or sister or whatever, and I think that the meaning can still have that sort of resonance to it. And I love the fact that they kind of kept it clean at the beginning, just mostly like guitar, or not guitar, mostly piano, and there's a little bit of strings, and just mostly Tyler and piano, which I really like because it shows off a different side of the band that very easily you could just overlook. You know, you could have a song where it could just be like dumb heavy, and that's what people expect, right? And so I do appreciate the variation of it. I like that it's kind of more so at the front of the album, which is a little bit, I would say a little bit unforeseen. Most people kind of, I would say most bands from what I've seen over my many years of, you know, not only reviewing albums, but also listening to my fair share of albums in this time period. Sorry, my cat is being a menace. But yeah, I feel like with this song specifically, it's nice to know that you can have those softer moments, and you can have moments that really kind of strike a chord, and could allow you to connect with the artists that are making the song. And this is, a great way to engage people in that way, because, not everybody, I would imagine, that are fans of this band are like, man, I really want a dumb heavy song. I would say a large majority of the fan base is probably like that. But I do like that this is a different take on it. I do like that they kind of finished it out as a full band closer to the end of the song. That's always a tried and true method, and I think that speaks volume for like how well the transitional aspect of that song worked out. But yeah, overall, love Tyler's vocals on this. You can tell there was a lot of heart, there was a lot of soul put into this song, and yeah, dug this one a ton. So big salutes to the boys. This one was another fantastic one. So we're going to move on to track number 5. This one's called Sun Chaser. This one features Whalebones. And if you were not here earlier, I'll mention it again. So Whalebones features both Nathan as well as Paul, who also play in this band. So I would definitely go check out that project. If you're more into like the indie or softer stuff, then that is definitely a band to check out. But very curious to see how they're going to utilize Whalebones, even though I know they're technically a part of the Wise Man Sphere as well. So we'll see how it works. I'm very curious on how it's going to work out. So this is track 5, Sun Chaser, featuring Whalebones. Let's give it a listen. There we go. Boy, Nathan. Ooh, I like this rhythmic part.
covered from the shadow. Break through the night, another path. Now it's clear.
Oh, what a cool harmony. Oh, the air candy is off the chart right now. This is a nice ending. Little. Oh. Sick piano riff. Alright guys, that was track 5 called Sun Chaser. This one features Whale Bones. We're about halfway, well not about, we are halfway through the album. So if you like this so far, go check out The Wise Man's Fear. Links below to go pick up the album. It is on vinyl, CD. You can pick up some sick threads. So go support the boys. Love them. Getting back to Sun Chaser. This song surprised me a lot. I think this one is arguably one of the more interesting tracks off the album thus far. I loved the different kind of... I really enjoyed like the melancholic nature of this track. It's like really fun. It was really energetic. It had this really kind of like more major tonality to it, which I really enjoyed. I will also say as well, the absolutely sick vocal layering on this track was awesome. I think that the way that they kind of interweave, the way that both not only Tyler but Nathan kind of work together in this like harmonious fashion, I really enjoyed that as well. Not that I felt like the songs were, not that I feel like Nathan would have been a bad fit, because I already know in previous The Wise Man Fears songs, I know that both him and Tyler have a really just great marriage of, just some awesome vocal lines. So wasn't really surprised at how well this turned out, but I think musicality wise, that also shocked me. It was got this really kind of like fun kind of like riffiness to it that I feel like when I think of The Wise Man Fears, I think of a song like Tailspin, where it's like just dumb heavy. There's some like really cool, like what you expect from like a metalcore song. And this is not what this was not what I was expecting the song to be. It kind of lines up with my thought process though, because I feel like Whale Bones is in that sort of like indie-ish alt sort of sound, and they were trying to find that middle ground between like, okay, we can make the song heavy, but like, how are we going to make it more interesting? And I think they landed on this, and I think it was a great idea, so I absolutely love it. As well as that, I was also very curious on how they were going to throw Joe in. Like, was Joe going to be a part of this song? Was he just going to sit out this one? So it was cool having him in it, and also just kind of throwing his screams in. I didn't feel like they were out of place, which could very easily have been felt on a track like this. But it did just, again, worked very harmoniously well together. And I was delightfully surprised at how much I actually enjoyed this song. So not that they write a bad tune by any stretch, but just kind of the musicality of it was something that took me by surprise a little bit. So really enjoyed this one. Sun Chaser. This one features Whale Bones. Go check out them as well. Great band that I've had on here multiple times. You already know. If you know, you know. But yeah, definitely a great song. One that is, I think within the song like track listing, I think it's a great spot to be in, because it is one of those odd ones that just works super well as like a palate cleanser. I would argue The Strength to Bury a Friend is also probably a pretty good one as well. So I was curious if maybe they tossed and turned on which songs should go before which one. But I think having Sun Chaser after The Strength to Bury a Friend was a good move, because you have that song that's like a little bit sad. I don't want to say I guess it is depressing too, but like definitely sad and something that is a very hard topic to talk about. And then you can juxtaposition it with Sun Chaser, which is like more of a like positive, more of a uplifting song. You know, the like one of the lyrics I could hear was like, you know, chasing the sun, or you know, some amalgamation of that. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but yeah, I really like this one a lot. Definitely took my by surprise the most out of all the songs off the album. But I know that there are some really, I think, you know, I've seen some clips. I haven't personally listened to them, but, you know, because I just don't want to spoil myself. So we'll get into them as they come along. But this is track number 6. We're going to be moving into that one. It's called The Rival. It features Lauren Babic. If you know, you know, but she is a fantastic singer, and she sings for a band called Red Handed Denial. Go check them out. Also a great band. If you haven't listened, she's a fantastic singer, so go give her some salutes. But we are going to check out The Rival right now.
We never fail to fall.
All right.
We never learn to read the minds of this world. We never fail
All right.
to just turn the page.
I like that melody.
Straight from our shadows, follows like burdens of violence, anguish of fear never tomorrow. Turn away and face the dawn. You know not what lies at every turn. From things you say you can't learn. Watch closely for imposters, for down ears and pain monsters. Who we are is all we've known, but there's more if you let go. So we turn the page. A rival now will bring your walls to the ground, but you can't move until you let it. Turn the page. I'll light it up, burning down to the ground, but you can't move until you let go.
This kind of has like an old school like metalcore feel to it.
Lifelines, closed eyes, I'm not sleeping tonight. Feels like a ghost, always slipping from sight. When I'm alone, I let my mind roam free, but it's always my demon. I've broken the silence until it's the tires. I'm letting go so I can.
Oh yeah, let's go, Lauren.
Someone on your bright face.
Let's see, is she gonna do some cleans? Oh yeah. Yeah, that was sick. That last chorus is tight. Ah, love it. Guys, this was track number 6, The Rival, featuring Lauren Babic. I dug this one. You know what? To me, this one has this like OG like metalcore sort of sound. You know, like I'm thinking like some like Roots Above, branches Below. Like I'm trying to think of like another good like old like metalcore sort of album in that same lane, like maybe like an older like I See Stars, like Digital Renegade kind of feel. It also kind of sounds like a little bit of like newer Silverstein stuff, which I'm all about as well. Hopefully those are all compliments, but I really think this one was solid. Really enjoyed the kind of overall vibe of it. The chorus absolutely slaps. I think that the thing that stuck out to me to most was Tyler's just like vocal prowess on the chorus. It was just awesome. I love the like vocal melodies, as you could hear again, you know, humming along to some of those sick melodies, and I absolutely like that a ton. I also really appreciate that Lauren did some screaming. I thought that was great, but I also love that she just absolutely blew the top off of that last chorus. Some of those parts you can hear like she's really getting up in the range and having it like really sit well within the song. And I absolutely love that because I feel like she didn't really hold back on this song, and I think that that's really cool because you can hear just like a lot of push from her in that last chorus, and I think to me that's what sends the song off. So really dug that, and just overall vibe was really cool. I love the guitar work on this track as well. I don't know. I think if I remember correctly, I don't know if Nathan did some of the guitar on this album or not, because I think at the time I'm pretty sure he like maybe messed up his arm or something. From what I remember, if the guys would like to comment on this video, that'd be very sick. Let me know. But I know Cody is a fantastic guitar player, and I feel like I'm not giving him enough love on this in this video. But he's awesome. And I also want to give a shout outs as well to Thomas. He's been slaying it on the bass here throughout this entire album. So I can just imagine it is hard to keep up with Paul on the skins, but man, he does a fantastic job of holding it down in that rhythm section. But yeah, I think this was one of my favorite guitar songs off the album. I think that again, Cody is such a fantastic guitar writer. And I don't know if Joe maybe helped out with this as well, because I know he's also a great guitar player too. So very curious on the process on that. I'm sure I'll have the guys on again to talk about the album since it's out now. But yeah, really enjoyed this one a ton. Lauren was such a great feature. Very similarly to how much I liked Whalebones, I think she really made this song her own, and just didn't let anything hold her back from just putting out some of the best stuff on this song specifically. So enjoyed The Rival. Again, if you enjoy any of these songs and you've been enjoying the album thus far, please check the links below and go support these guys. First week numbers always count, so make sure to show them some love. But the next song, track 7, The Absence of Light, we're getting real close to the end, and I know there's some heaters closer to the end of this album, so I'm getting ready. I'm so pumped. You know, I finished my protein shake, so your boy's hype right now. But yeah, Absent of Light, let's get this bad boy a spin. I have a bad feeling this is going to be a heavy fucking song. And I might be right. Are those some some Gregorian chants going on in the background? This is sounding dirty. Am I gonna have to get up? I can't. Oh my God! God. Oh, is this some chanting? What the hell? This is so wild. Oh my God. I can't. What the fuck? Oh my God. Also, this chorus slaps. Oh God. Oh my God. My God. Oh God. That was great. Guys, this is track 7, The Absence of Light, off of The Wise Man's Fear. I can't even, I'm out of breath. The Wise Man's Fear, new album, Atlas Ruinica. Check the links below. I had a feeling this was gonna be a heavy one. I just, like, if you're going to name your song The Absence of Light, there's probably a pretty good chance it's going to be heavy, So, yeah, I really don't have anything else to say about the song. It's just dumb heavy. Joe just, I feel like okay, I'm going to go on a soapbox for a second. So, I feel like Joe is just like Brock Lee in Naruto, right? My man has the shackles on, all right? And every once in a while, they release an album and they say, hey, Joe, we need you to go about as crazy as you possibly can. And this man does it. And I know for a fact there's some heavy, dumb stuff coming up next. But this is just like the appetizer, all right? My man's trying to clown on some Will Ramos. And that's no diss to Will Ramos. He's a fantastic vocalist, fantastic screamer. If you haven't checked out Lorna Shore, go check them out. This was only a precursor because I feel like there are going to be some heavier songs. And I also want to mention a previous song off of Valley of Kings, Firefall, featuring the Good Homies and Make Them Suffer, alumni of the channel. And that was another time where they just like let Joe go and do his thing. So I feel like this is a trend and I'm about it. So I just want to, I just wanted to give you guys my seal of approval on that. But this one was arguably the most unhinged track from Joe on the entire album, and in the absolute best way possible. The dude knows how to scream, and obviously is showing that off very, very well on this song. So really enjoyed that. I'll also say too, I really enjoyed the chorus as well. I love the like darker undertone of the track. I think that was really neat, and just kind of compared to what Joe was just doing vocally, was just the icing on the cake. It was the cherry on top of just this insane Sunday. So this one might be the one to beat, honestly. But we have three more songs to rummage through, and I don't know. I'm a big Jordan Ravensky. My brain is broken right now, but Jordan is a part of the band called Seraphim, who I also really love. Check them out. But yeah, the absence of light, there was no absence of just filthiness on this track. That's what they should have named it, because that would have been more appropriate. This one's my favorite thus far. I feel like this one is going to be a hard contender to beat, but nonetheless, we press on. So we're going to move on to track number 8. This one is called Maze Runner. I believe this was one of the singles that they had released. The only ones that I can remember that they released before the album came out was Tailspin, Sunchaser, The Rival, Maze Runner, and I think they released The Strength to Bury Your Friend, if I'm not mistaken. I think those are the ones. And then more recently, they just released a music video for Sea of Fire, which we'll get into in 2 songs. So, yeah, let's get into Maze Runner, featuring our other good homies in Spawn. As I mentioned with Whalebones, this is the project of both Thomas and Joe. I believe that Joe does the guitar parts in this band, and Thomas does some screaming. So very curious if they're going to add some Thomas screaming on in this track. So let's give this bad boy a spin. Ooh, this intro is very like North Lane-esque. I'm about it.
Racing through, to find our way, find
That was a good feature. I like that. Good feature. Oh, this synth is so tight. I like it.
Should I stay or should I go? When every step leads away from
Nice little vocoder part.
forever,
Some harmonies.
all alone, joined before this souls. Guiding lights that let us stray. Distant fragments of memories. Forever on these halls of stone, all alone, joined by voices of forfeit souls.
Ooh, nice little guitar riff action. I love it. Yo, who's got the shred, man? Bro, Cody, what's good? Uh, anyway, this track is track number 8. This one is called Maze Runner. This one features Spawn. Also, I think Nathan, their vocalist, also did some screaming on this track. He's like the main screamer, and Thomas is also a main screamer. So it's cool to hear them both on a track. And also, I think it's cool to hear Thomas in a different light. Obviously he plays bass for this band, but it's nice to know that he's, throwing some screams in there. I think that's really sick. It was nice to hear Nathan's, take on this song as well, and having him feature, comparatively to what Joe's doing. So that was really nice. I like that. They really kind of interweave them in such a nice way as well. I say the biggest plus that I really enjoyed about this track was the electronic elements in this song. I thought they were really tight. Definitely reminds me of like the most current North Lane album, Obsidian, and I think that they really kind of hit that, like, again, that nice like metalcore angle there. And also, again, I know I mentioned this a couple different times, but they're like Shokron and like Born of Osiris kind of influence is pretty strong on this song as well too, which I absolutely dig. I think those are both bands that are pretty underrated, and if you haven't checked them out, go do it. I would say more or less Shokron than Born of Osiris, but they're also fantastic too, and I want to give them some love. That little guitar ending, that was super nice. I think that, again, Cody is like low-key a goat, because some of his guitar writing is so great, and I think it just interweaves so well with like some of the melodies that Tyler's doing vocally, but also I think he just kind of just absolutely knows what fits and works it in very well. So big salutes to Cody, absolutely smashing it. But yeah, this was sick, and I was a little bit concerned, not because I didn't think they could manage having 3 different screamers at one time, but it was nice to hear kind of the variation and having them not all kind of like sit right on top of each other. Not that that's a bad thing either, but it was nice to hear kind of like each individual part within the song, and not that it had to be like, okay, all of you guys are screaming at the same time, how can I differentiate the two? So that was very nice, and I think Tyler, again, just absolutely, the man is steady. The man is just killing it. So loved his vocals on this track, but I really feel like the features, not only from Spawn being Nathan as well as Thomas, but I also feel like meshed with Joe. I think that ultimately took the cake, along with just kind of the electronic instrumentals. I thought that those things really brought this song home for me, and it was definitely I think it was a great single, and I can say that as all of the songs collectively that have been singles, I would say this one, if I was just kind of to pick off the singles, obviously the entire album's out now, but with just the singles right out the gate, I think Maze Runner was a really good contender for a good single. I would also say Tailspin. I feel like those two singles were the best representation of this album thus far. So really like that. And again, if you're into like the heavier like electronic music along with just some like dumb, stupid, heavy guitar parts, then this is a good one. So we're going to move it on to track number 9, which is Sea of Fire. I believe this is the one that they released on Friday with a music video, so big salutes to them. I have yet to check the music video out, but from what I could tell from the actual like editing portion of it, whew, guys went all out, so big salutes. And I'll leave a link to go check out Sea of Fire, the actual music video, because they spent a lot of time on it, so go do it. But yeah, track number 9, Sea of Fire. Let's give this bad boy a spoon. Oh, this feels like OG. This feels like classic The Wise Man Fears. All right. Oh, some sick blast beats. Oh. Oh, this chorus. This little Thomas like bass riff going on. All right. This chorus just smacks. I love it. Alright, Paul, alright. Switching up the rhythm. I have a feeling there's gonna be a nasty drop. Alright, this is sick. Alright, guys. Stepping them game up. Alright.
Let planets roll without aim. New horror screaming unheeded. No knowledge lost on our name.
What the hell, Joe? I can't. This man is unhinged.
No escape, no
Unreal. I can't, man. This band continues to pick apart my life. Guys, if you're just tuning in, this was track number 9, Sea of Fire. There is a music video. I will leave a link below to go give this a listen. If you like what you've been hearing thus far, we're almost on to the last track. I'm so grateful because I'm going to be like so passed out after this. But we are going to talk about Sea of Fire. My God. I think this, I don't know, man. This might be the best. I think both Sea of Fire and The Absence of Light, those are going to be probably the two hardest ones to beat for me, at least. I'd also put Tailspin in there as well. But getting back to Sea of Fire, Joe, I don't even know what to say about his. I can't even find the words. Joe is an insane vocalist. I feel like that is pretty evident for most people. If you listen to a song like this, you're just like, yo, what's this man on? Seeing his progress, and I know I mentioned this earlier in the video, but seeing his progress as a vocalist over the past couple years, actually more than a couple years, a long time. Seeing his progress over a long period of time has been really impressive to me. And I feel like he continues to unlock things vocally that are it's just so cool to me. I think that he's just been able to utilize his screams in such a way and make it work within a song. Like, very easily, he could have just gone full, like, Will Ramos and just gone, like, started making, like, some pig noises and just going nuts. But I feel like he fits it in a way where it's nuts, right? And in context is like, yeah, that's crazy. But it doesn't detract from the song in any way. And that's not to diss Lorna Shore, because I really loved Pain Remain last year. I did not put it on my albums of the year, but I really did enjoy it. However, I do find that with Lorna Shore, while they are very talented, and, you know, I feel like they might be a little bit less approachable than this band. You could hear this song and be like, oh shit, like, I love Tyler singing, that's great, and then be very shocked and surprised by what Joe brings to the table. And I think that that's really cool, and I think that they hit that nice mesh point between, like, Joe's doing his batshit crazy stuff, but, like, can reel it in, right? And I love that, and I wanted to highlight his ability to not only go off the wall vocally, but also knowing to just, like, you know, in a song like Sun Chaser, where he could have went hog wild and just done something nuts, but he keeps it very much on that even keel, and it works within the song, and it doesn't feel out of place. And I think with Sea of Fire, he goes ape shit, but it's very controlled, and I absolutely love that about, you know, the way that they interwork within the Wise Man Fears camp. But this one was great. The chorus absolutely sends. I love that. Joe, I've already talked about him enough. It was great. But this, if you are a fan of older The Wise Man Fears stuff, then you're definitely going to dig this one, because I think it has shades of past releases, and I absolutely love that, because it definitely has that sort of, like, again, that synthy kind of, like, layering to it, but there's some, like, like Gregorian chants going on. Like, it's very much, like, I feel like it's very much a love letter to older fans that have been around and just have seen, like, the different variations of the band as a whole. So I wanted to give that a shout. And it also kind of reminded me of another song off of The Lost City. I believe it was, if my looking at this listing brings up any memories, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Codex, I believe, is the song, where it's a little bit more like ethereal in nature, and it was a little bit off the beaten path in terms of just, like, a heavy song that has some really interesting, like, things going on and in the song. So definitely one of my favorites. Would highly recommend checking out this one. And then at the end of the video, I'll say my top 5 favorite songs off the album. So we're gonna get into the last song. I know you had enough of me flailing around on the computer screen here, but this is the last song. This song is called Solomon's Gate. It features Jordan Radvansky. I'm hoping I said that pronunciation correct, but he's of the band Seraphim. I absolutely love this band. Tabula Rasa is one of my favorite records of all time. I think that they just do a fantastic job, and I'm glad that they are back in somewhat regular condition. I did a reaction video with another good friend of ours, Tyler Ennis of the band Of Virtue, and that was great. So big salutes to Seraphim and Jordan. I think they're great. So definitely go check them out. But this is the last song, track 10. Let's get into this bad boy.
Follow the call and step beyond, 'cause the gate is ready. It's time to touch the light.
This kind of feels like a movie intro kind of song,
And ponder
and I'm about it.
life. You will grow to understand and intertwine. Then you say, are you ready? Are you ready? 'Cause the gate's about to close, and it'll swallow you whole. The weight of the many is too heavy to carry on your own. I think it's ready to go. Through the entry, 'cause the gate's about to close, and it'll swallow you
Ooh, nice rhythm change. That was clean.
is too heavy to carry on your own. I think it's ready to blow. I feel it drawing me, and I'm magnetized.
This kind of reminds me a little bit of The March Ahead.
Another
fantastic band.
So go and seek out every sign, 'cause the gate is open. It's time to
All right, Paul. Going a little spice about it.
Now the worlds begin to spin through the eye of Solomon. I end where it begins. Go through the entry, 'cause the gate's about to close, and it'll swallow you whole. The weight of the many is too heavy to carry on your own. I think it's ready to blow. The sky will fall, pouring stars into the sea, and in last again we'll meet. So cross, follow me through the door to the other side. Join me here where our worlds collide.
Oh man.
Are you ready? Are you ready? 'Cause the gate's about to close, and it'll swallow you whole. Go through the entry, 'cause the gate's about to close, and it'll swallow you whole.
Nice. Oh, Jordan screams in the back.
It's too heavy to carry.
Nice call and response. Like that.
I think it's ready to blow. This is the end of my story. We meet again. The sky has been emptied, spiraling through the clouds. This is the end of my story. We meet again.
Jesus, that ending. Guys, this is the last track. Track number 10, Solomon's Gate, featuring Jordan Radvansky of the band Seraphim. If you enjoyed any of this album whatsoever, and you feel inclined to go help out the boys, the Wise Man Fears, or Wise Man's Fear. I don't know why I added S at the end. I guess it's just like second nature, but their album Atlas Ruinica is out now. Please go pick it up. Links below. If you like purchasing physical copies of any album, that will also be on their website. And then as well as that, if you like to stream, all of those platforms will be on there as well. So please go support the boys. Would love to see them just do absolutely smashing. So doing my part, salutes to the guys. Love them to death. But getting into this last track, I like this one a lot. I was a little bit surprised, and I think it was nice because I feel like with the absence of light, that was pretty much a Joe track, and very similarly to like Sea of Fire, I would also say that was pretty much a Joe track. But it was nice to hear that this one was just primarily like a Tyler track, very similarly to The Strength to Bury a Friend. I really love the just kind of like, again, the stronger undertone of electronic influence. Definitely reminds me a lot of like old The March Ahead, which is Johnny Frank's previous project before Bill Murray, and then did Bill Murray, and then might also be doing The March Ahead. I'm not entirely sure. Also, ironically enough, wearing a Bill Murray shirt. No plugs, but shout outs to the boy. But yeah, I really like this one a lot. It was nice to hear a little bit more of a different variation on the band, very similarly to some of the other songs off the album. It's always cool to hear a different shade of the band. I think that, to me, always strikes me as something that I personally enjoy listening to, because very similarly to Strength to Bury a Friend, it's nice to hear, a different take and a different vibe going on with that. And I think this one allowed us to hear a little bit more of what Tyler's doing, and allowed him to kind of take more of the front face on this track, which I definitely dig. Also, I will say, love Jordan's part on this song as well. He's a fantastic vocalist. I already knew that already going into this track, and he absolutely smashed it. I love the fact that, especially in that last chorus where they're doing the kind of call and response, and also kind of Jordan just going off and doing a lot of like vocal layering and adding on like a little bit of nice touches throughout the song. It was nice to hear that, and just having him really just go ham on a track. So that was very cool. And I would say, a little bit biased fully, I liked his feature pretty high up there. I would say, out of the features that were on this album, I probably actually liked the Whalebones feature the most. I think it just fit with the overall song, and I just think it just elevated the song to that next level. But love the tonality of it. I think this one was pretty much a Paul and Thomas show. Paul's drumming on this track was really nice. I love the kind of more syncopated part in that sort of last bit of the chorus. In each part of the chorus, there was just like a nice little like, extra like double bass hits, a little bit more cymbal hits. And I think it made it more interesting than just kind of keeping maybe more of the straight beat. And I absolutely love that. And then Thomas was just absolutely slanging the bass on this track, so really enjoyed that too. But overall, really solid track. I would say my favorites off the album, I would say it's probably a tie between The Absence of Light and Sea of Fire. Those two, I don't think I could have picked between the two. Those were both fantastic songs. I will also put on the list Tailspin at number 3. I would also put I feel like I'd put Sun Chaser on there at 4, and then the last song to end off my top 5, I would probably put Slumbering World at 5. I'd say an honorable mention to The Rival. I think that one was really great, and I loved Lauren's feature on the track as well. So I'd probably say those are my top 5, but let me know down below what your top 5 are on this album. It was very hard to pick. I think that they, comparatively to some of their previous work, The Lost City, Castle in the Clouds, and Valley of Kings, I think this is personally their best foot forward in terms of sound and what they're going for and what we can expect going further for the Wise Man Fear. I was gonna say Fears again, but I did not. So kudos to me. But I think that they just continue to innovate. And as a friend and also as someone that has seen them grow for many years, it's cool to see how much and how far that they have come. I did listen to Castle in the Clouds again recently, just to kind of like really kind of go back in time and listen to that like first Baby album, and it's still great, it still holds up. And going back and listening to Lost City, that also holds up really well. And obviously Valley of Kings not being too old, but it was also cool to hear how much they've changed over that time period as well. And I know I kind of was beating a dead horse earlier, probably very similarly here now, but just their growth has been so impressive to me in the way that they continue to write, where they don't lose sight of having like a really just dumb heavy track, but the whole album isn't like stupid heavy. They like to switch it up, have a nice bit of variation, and you can clearly tell that in regards to the songwriting and the process of putting these songs together, there's a lot of intent behind it. You have a song that's a little bit heavier, and then you get to the end and it's a song that's mostly just clean vocals, and then obviously in the middle there's some variation, then closer to the end you got some of the dumb heavy songs before they hit you with like a nice like, hey, we just have clean singing on this track, I hope you don't mind. And I like that because, again, it shows off their skills as a band. And I also think it shows off their growth and maybe, like reservation on like, hey, so we have this heavy song, but we don't feel like screaming might not work. And, they decide to roll with having a song that is just a little bit heavier, but also maybe going more in the melodic direction. And so I appreciate the thought process behind it and the way that, again, how these songs were arranged, because it was, personally, I feel like it was just well done. And all of the songs just kind of hit their stride and fit very well together. So I think this is a great way to start the year off with just a heater of an album, Atlas Ruinica. Comparatively to their old material, I don't know where I would place it at just quite yet because it's still very fresh. And also for the sheer fact that I listened to it for the first time right now. So, I'm sure if it will get to this point next year or towards the end of this year, but I'll probably have more of a stronger opinion on it because it came out at the beginning of this year. So, but yeah, I really, really enjoy it. I think, if you are a fan of previous material, there's probably a pretty good chance you're going to enjoy this album a lot. If you are an OG fan and you've been here since like 2015 or even before that point, then I think there are definitely songs in here that are reminiscent of old The Wise Man Fear. But as well as that, I think if you kind of followed along from 2015 and kind of continue the journey, much like myself, there's gonna be a lot of material to kind of look back and take and listen to, but also like really enjoy and delve into a little bit more. And I would also highly recommend, I know I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but if you want to get a little bit more of the lore and the ideas behind the songs, I don't know if they have any plans to do like a full breakdown of it, but I know in the Discord they do a lot of that, so I'll leave a link for their Discord channel, so please go give that a follow if you are interested in the sort of lyrics and the lore behind the lyricism in this album. But big thumbs up, just a great album. I think this is, again, a great way to start off the new year, and couldn't think of a better record to check out off the start. So if you stuck with me for this entire stream, first and foremost, thank you. If you are watching in the past, also thank you for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, I do this a lot, so feel free to hit the subscribe button, share it, like it would really mean a lot, and honestly it helps out my channel a ton. So would love for you guys to be able to help me out with that, and also would love to know down below what your favorite songs are off Atlas Ruinica. Would love to know your thoughts on the album as well, so drop that down below as well too. And thank you for watching. Plenty of more streams to be coming very soon, so again, thank you for joining me, and hope to be seeing you guys in the next video. Love all y'all. Thank you for a great 2022, and excited to get into this new year with 2023. So big salutes to the homies. Love all ya, and I'll be talking to you in the next video. Peace.